we got to get this bung in here, which is pretty simple, and we got to make clearance for that guy. That's the part that I'm struggling with, because normally I would take a mill, dig it down in here, knock these fins out, drill a hole, blast it. But nah, I don't have a mill, so we gotta use one of these. And I'm just gonna have to eat the labor. Hold on a second, forget that intro. Would you just look at this arc shot? Check this out. That is the cleanest arc shot I have ever recorded on this channel, ever. I have been trying for a long time to get that clean of a shot. And I'll tell you a funny story here. The day that I shot this, and the date that I'm actually uploading this, is the 11th year anniversary of the fabrication series on YouTube. And tomorrow, April 1st, which, funny enough, April Fool's Day, is the actual anniversary of weldmetalsonline.com. Right now at weldmetalsonline.com, there is an anniversary sale going on. So if you want to save on welding coupons, practice material, consumables, and everything that I use in all of my videos here, you need to go over there and save. It's automatic in the cart as you check out. Automatic sale going on right now, weldmetalsonline.com. The second thing is I really want to celebrate this, okay? If you go to thefabricatorseries.com/classes and sign up for one of my in-person TIG welding classes, not only are you going to get an awesome experience, but I will help you save. If you want $50 off the price of the class for the entire month of April, use my code TFS10 at checkout. This applies to our classes here in Vegas and in Blackwood, New Jersey. I really hope to see you guys there. Step one is to get these fins knocked down a little bit so that way you can get something inside of here like a wrench or who knows, whatever needs to go in here, we can get it in there. That's the thing. And this is pretty much all I've got. There are more aggressive carbides to knock all this stuff out, but with enough lube and stuff like that inside of there, that will keep the fins or keep the aluminum from clogging this up really badly. And some of the best lube that I've had in a while is Anchor Lube, which they sent this stuff out for me to use. It's not paid, but if they paid me, I would still say it was good. These pieces of shit.
To Hong Kong.
I know, everybody's like, oh yeah, buy better batteries. Yeah, but why do you have to buy something just to upgrade it? God, I hate these things. That looks pretty decent for the tools that I have, obviously. And if we put this in here, we've got plenty of clearance.
We have clearance, Clarence. Roger, roger.
Now, some people might be asking me like, okay, well, how the hell are you going to weld all that? Well, simple. We're going to weld the inside of it, not the outside of it. So if we weld the inside of it, we've got obviously a lot more space. And being that this is a cast part, we might have to chase out some trash and stuff, and that'll be easier to chase it all out in here as opposed to trying to chase it all out in there. Put some sauce in here, why not? Now this stuff cuts fast. Here's a nice close-up look of the chamfer. So when we put the fitting inside of here, that will give us plenty of meat to weld this fitting to, so that way we don't have to worry about it popping out or anything else like that. This is cast aluminum, and if you've ever watched any of my other videos, you know that there's no way to tell if it's a good cast or a bad cast or one that's going to give you hell until you actually start welding it. This is a brand new piece, so, or it looks, well, maybe it's not brand new, but it looks pretty damn clean either way. So there's no judging. There's only dropping the hood and finding out if it's actually going to be good or not. So let's do our final cleanup on this real quick, and then we'll weld this bugger on there. Yeah, easy day. So we'll try to dry this off real quick. I'll blast it with some air and everything else like that. Just want all the chips and lube and everything else off of there. So since this is very uneven and we want it to be nice and flat, I've set up a few blocks here we can set this down on. And look, it won't move. Okay, there's 103 amps on tap. I don't think... How's my foot pedal? There it is. I don't think I'm going to need all 103 amps. I mean, maybe half that, but better to have a couple extra than not enough at all. I am going to stand by with filler just in case I need to give it a little bit of a poke, right? Because when you're welding cast aluminum, it usually tends to start to bubble up and release a lot of trash that's trapped inside of it. So if I see it kind of bubbling up on me and I can't get it to push, and I'll give it a little drop of filler just to see if everything, finds its way in there. What we're basically doing is melting the surface, pushing out any kind of impurities or garbage that's trapped inside of it, and that basically, when all that stuff comes out of it, we have a new, fresh, clean layer of aluminum to weld to. And that's basically all this first pass is, called junk pass or trash pass. Yeah, there's some trash in it, that's for sure. See all the bubbles? As we go around here, all these bubbles are starting to go away. There's a lot over here that I'm starting to surface. We're going to add a little drop just to try to push some of this out.
All right, check this out as I come around here. This is why I got so excited about this arc shot. Look at that. That's a friggin' grain of sand.
Boys got sand.
Best arc shot ever.
Here's you a little close-up of what that looks like. Yes, there are a couple of bubbles in there still, but when we add our filler, those bubbles are likely going to disappear. But we won't know for certain until we start poking it. With filler, I mean. I think I have to refocus my other candle. But before I do, I got to get this tacked on here so that way it does not move. The problem I had is that since I did the junk pass on there, that fitting wants to sit a little sideways. So just to make sure that it doesn't move on me, little tack there did the job. We can double check here. Like, yeah, that's still straight. We're good to go there. Let me reset the arc shot so that way you guys can see what I'm doing, and we'll fill this in. I actually turned my amps up to 130 just in case I need a little extra blast. Wait, 120 just in case I need a little extra blast. I'm using 3/32 4043 filler. I'm going to do another tack on the opposite side, make sure this thing doesn't move, and then we'll run around and fill it up.
Okay, just a little bit of voiceover here because I wasn't actually talking during this clip or narrating it as I was welding. So a couple things that I'm looking for. One, I want to make sure that any last minute bubbles or trash or anything else like that comes to the surface before I add filler. That's why I'm welding kind of slow, double checking. And as I pass along here, you can see that there's some trash still floating up to the top after each dab. Look at the back side of the weld pool. That's what I want to see. And finally, you can see that I'm actually welding backwards here. The filler is going into the back side of the weld pool instead of the leading edge. That's so I can get that nice, uninterrupted, continuous weld all the way around. It's something you should practice, as you go. But I do a little back step here where that backs the ripple up and keeps the uniformity. As we get to the end here, slowly taper off of that pedal, let it cool nice and slow, and there's our weld. This thing literally smells like friggin' beef teriyaki. And there's our bead. So if you noticed, there was not a lot of trash coming out of that. It was nice and fluid. That's exactly what I was looking for. This side looks very acceptable. Time to call the customer and say, you owe me $80 US. So real quick, because I know that this is actually a relatively short video, and that's because it wasn't supposed to be the video that it became until I started editing it, which is like, if you go back to all of the cast aluminum weld repairs that I've ever done on this channel, you'll see that having a perfect or near flawless cast aluminum welding job is almost impossible. So that's why I thought it'd be really, really cool to show this to you and everything else like that. The second thing is, you might have noticed that I'm uploading just a little bit more often, and that's because the past over a decade, I've only averaged one video a month. So I am trying to actually start uploading more often and bringing in more projects and cool things that I want to do. This one actually has a strut tower, well, more like a chassis brace that I was starting to build up here, and it's gonna, it's gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff. That will likely be the next video, but I got sick and I'm still getting over it right now, which is why I look really rough. And the last thing I wanted to go over here is just to say, if this is your first video or you've been around for the entire 11 years that I've been doing this, I just wanted to personally say thank you. I've been trying to tell the story and express how much it means and everything else like that, but I keep on getting choked up, and that has nothing to do with fabrication. But you guys have really kept my career alive, because I thought when I started this channel it was pretty much over. And that means the world to me. To hear your guys' stories of success, or just the fact that you enjoy this, or when you come to one of my classes and the light bulb turns on and you suddenly understand welding, that means the world to me. So thank you guys so very, very much.